Good morning. We all here? I'd like to start off the morning, and Mayor Nick Hunter would like to say a few words. Mayor?
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. I'll let some others get into the details of what we're here to speak about today, but I'll just say that far too often we hear about agencies not working together and not sharing information, and that is certainly not the case with what we experienced recently between the Sheriff's Department and the Lake Charles Police Department. It's also an indication of a partnership that has worked on numerous occasions. I'm so proud to stand next to a couple law enforcement agencies whose number one concern is public safety. Number one concern is the people of this parish and this city. And if working together, sharing information to catch the bad guys is going to make that happen, that's what we do. And so again, as the Mayor of Lake Charles, to the citizens of Lake Charles, we should be proud that we have a couple agencies in this parish and in Southwest Louisiana that do work so well together, and this is how you catch the bad guys, is by working together in cooperation. Sheriff?
I think the Chief's going to go first.
Okay.
Good morning. This past Friday, the 25th of May, a little after 8 a.m., we received a call of an attempted rape in the vicinity of Country Club and Majors. Upon arrival, fortunately, a neighbor heard some screaming and came out, and the suspect ran away. Due to our investigation in the area, we discovered some home videos and determined that the vehicle the subject left in was a white Kia Sorento SUV, and we were able to obtain a partial tag, not a full tag. We put that out on a bolo. We did not know who the suspect was at that time, although we had a very good description. At about that same time, the Sheriff's Office received a call in a separate area. I'll let the Sheriff explain that.
We had a similar kind of, about 30 minutes before that, about 7:30 in the morning, off of Leon Drive, we had a similar instance take place. A woman's outside, a neighbor here screaming, and anyway, the suspect flees, and during this time, I know that Deputy Krause and the Chief and I had spoke at some point around 8:30, and we're trying to, we realized we have two separate instances going on. We did, and I don't see them here, the state police is not here, but they were involved in helping us, especially with the plate, the partial plate that came from the city. We were able to obtain the actual car itself, and then later on that afternoon, during the course of our investigation, and by that time we're linked and we're working together and putting the pieces together from both the instances, but we were able to actually find the car behind a residence on Flounder, which is off of Elliott Road south of Lake Charles. And then we were able to find our suspect, which was Wayne Barras, Richard Wayne Barras of 2537 North Flounder. Basically, at that point, we were trying to do the same thing the city was and obtain some video footage, and their case obviously progressed a little faster than ours did, and we kind of yielded to them, let them come in, and after we had arrested the suspect, and they did their initial interview first and did their arrest. We actually had we had a little more technical difficulties with our case, and were able to make an arrest late Saturday evening. Let me tell you what concerns, and I don't want this to be taken out of context when I say what I'm fixing to say, because any crime is important to us, especially any sexual assault crime is important to us. But in many cases, not all cases, but in many cases for us, our victim knows their suspect in a sexual assault. In most cases, not all. So I want, and like I said, those are just as important. But when you have a stranger doing something like this to two separate women, talk about a red flag come up, okay? Because we know nothing. We don't have a suspect. At least when the assailant knows our suspect, at least we have a name to go on. Immediately, and that's where the cooperation comes in and the sharing of information. And like I said, I don't want to leave out the state police because they were a vital part of this. But this case is one that your jaw drops and your heart drops immediately, because these victims did not know this suspect. So it was very, very important to us to jump on this and to try to formulate a suspect, and we did very quickly. So with that said, our suspect was arrested for attempted first-degree rape. I'm sure there could be some other charges that result from this, but we didn't make our arrest again till Saturday evening, and then I'll let the chief talk more about theirs and what took place with theirs, and then we'll be available for questions.
Yeah, this subject is on parole. He does have a criminal history, more burglary and theft, so it's kind of hard to go from that side of the house, basically property crime, thefts and so forth and so on, to now serious sexual assault. So he wasn't on a radar as far as that goes. We've charged him with attempted first-degree rape. His bond is set at $900,000. Again, the case is still in progressive stage. We hope to get some DNA evidence and so forth and so on. But we do have a positive identification on our case. So that victim went through some tremendous trauma. Thank God for that neighbor. And we forget about the victims. Though she wasn't actually raped, but she's going to have this through her mind the rest of her life. And what do we do to help these people? Not enough. Not enough. And so it's hard to spot somebody who's on this side of the fence, what we call a thief, a burglar, so forth and so on, to all of a sudden jump over and in the span of an hour try to rape 2 women. It just doesn't make sense sometimes, but no one says it has to make sense. But fortunately, we've got somebody off the street. Hopefully he'll never walk the street again, and it's a tremendous job. Mr. Droege, would you like to talk a little bit about the charges?
Thank you, Chief. We're very fortunate in Calhoun Parish to have law enforcement agencies that work so well together, especially when it comes to things like keeping sexual predators off the street. The District Attorney's Office will step up to that plate and prosecute this case and any sexual predator case to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you very much.
All right, this is a pending criminal case. If you have questions, I might not be able to answer them, but fire away.
Well, he was booked for forcible rape. What do you expect the formal charges to be?
I don't think he was, I thought we arrested him and y'all arrested him for attempted first-degree
rape.
Well, the book says forcible rape.
Yeah, we may need to look at that and make sure that's correct on the paperwork. But I called this morning because I wanted to know before we got here whether, and they told me it was attempted first-degree rape, and that he had a $900,000 bond on the 2 charges. I wasn't sure if we had a $900,000 on one and a $900,000 on the other. I just wasn't clear on that, so I wanted to make sure when we came here that we explained to the media the correct. It's $900,000 bond on the 2 first-degree attempted rape charges. So that is what the corrections office, I don't know if maybe the paperwork we sent out to y'all, I apologize if we did. It would have been our mistake. But no, it is attempted, for sure, attempted first-degree rape on both cases. Is that correct for the detectives over here?
I have the 900 that's on our charges.
Right.
Just ours.
I think they just lumped it into one, and as far as there is no bond on the other.
On the other, okay.
Yes.
You said he was arrested on Flounder and that he's on parole. Is he from here and were his previous crimes here?
Yes.
Okay.
His criminal history is all here.
Okay.
Did he have a job, or how was he, what did he do in the community? Anything? Or?
He was a career
Being an idiot.
Were the victims, obviously they were traumatized, were either of the victims injured in any other ways?
I don't think physically, but like the chief said, those will be emotional scars. I think they had some scratches and stuff, but nothing significant.
And both victims were women?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you tell us their ages?
I'd rather not.
Yeah. In our case, she was an older female.
Any idea why it was that area? I mean, Flounder, I know, is not far from there.
I think he was staying, from my investigation, I don't want to get too deep into it, I think he was staying very close by. When he got run off from that area, he actually went to his vehicle and made it not too far to the next, which was the city's case around Champion subdivision, is that correct? And then that incident took place, and of course, at that point, we believe he went to his mother's residence.
Do you happen to know if he is married, single, has children?
I don't know the answer to that. I know he
Okay.
was at a female's house close to that, close to the Leon Drive area.
And as far as you know, it's the first sexual type
That's correct.
crime of his?
Keep in mind, he tried to hide this car.
Yes. Yeah, but when we found the car, which was later on in the day with him at the residence, he had tried to cover up the car so he could hide it.
And where were the victims when they were attacked? Were they both outside?
Yes.
I mean, what were they doing?
I think one was
heard
putting out the
some.
trash,
Yes.
and ours was just going out to the mail. I don't remember what she was doing, but she was just outside her residence. May have been putting out her trash too. It was Friday, it was trash day, both instances in that area.
And keep in mind, the great work and the great responsibilities that we have in cooperation, who knows what we've saved other women the next day, the day after, the day after. So those are the stories that are never told. So great work, quick work, cooperative work, and hopefully we've got a guy behind bars forever, so he'll never be a threat again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.